Good.
All right, so we're gonna go over the double wrist lock. In Jiu-Jitsu, we refer to it as the Kimura lock. But for police purposes, I tend to label it double wrist lock because it just sounds better, especially when you're documenting this in your police reports. Okay, what is a Kimura? Kimura is when, an easy way, remember the target that some departments have where they'll place their hands here? Well, just place your hands here. Think of it as this. I'm securing her wrist. I'm taking my hand and I'm going over her wrist and I'm making a grip here. Okay, let's move it over slightly over this way. Over here. Come close if you have to. Okay, from here, I'm going to be turning and putting her hands behind her back. But we're going to be doing this. I taught this in an earlier lesson. We taught this on how, from the standing position, how to take them down to the ground. But what I wanna go over is how to apply this Kimura lock, this double wrist lock, from the ground. You find yourself, maybe the guy that you're trying to arrest tackled you down, and you landed in, boom, shot down, both my legs, took me down, put me on my back, boom. You find yourself here. First thing you want to do whenever you find yourself on your back with a subject inside your guard is limit his ability to hit you properly. You do that by keeping both your hands over their arms, okay? Not under, because now her hands are free to hit you, okay? Either punch you or even worse, elbow shots or headbutts. You have to worry about all that stuff. Plus, we also have to worry about them trying to bite us. So there's a lot happening over here in the real world. There's a lot that us officers have to worry about that general people in sport atmosphere don't have to. So starting with that, I control, turn, and I'm controlling her here. Now from here, I'm gonna slide. A lot of times they place their hands on the floor to sit back. Well, as they sit back, creates a good opportunity to either do the guard turnover that we discussed in an earlier video, or I slide my hand down here to the wrist. I'm gonna release this hand here and I'm gonna bring it over her wrist and I grab my own wrist, hence the word double wrist lock, okay? Now I have her hand in a chicken wing. This is important. Try not to keep it straight because they can straighten their arm out and pull it. Keep it bent. Now, from here, I find myself, I'm on my back. I need to get her hands behind her back. One hand is easy, but I'm still on my back. So watch how I start shifting my hips to the outside. Outside, and I start pulling her down. And I shift my head. Outside, shift my head. Ma'am, start going belly down, flat, 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 flat. This is where you give your verbals, okay? Notice one thing I'm doing here. I'm holding on to her feet because I don't want her to roll over. So as we do this, I keep this pressure and I will be getting up on my knees and I will be releasing this. So pay attention how I maintain control of this. As I sit up, I bring my thigh and I release this grip. Boom, I'm right here. Once I have this grip here in place, I can easily, if I'm having a hard time getting that second hand, I can start manipulating by having a counter and a wrist lock. Let me see your other hand. Bring your other hand behind your back. Good. And easily go into your handcuffing. Let's try this again. So you find yourself on your back. What we need to do, first priority, is limit their ability to hit you. Okay? Controlling, turn the chin away, control it here, tight. Do not insert your hands here, you get your hands stuck. I'm right here, okay? Preferably your gun side. If you're worried about your gun, I didn't particularly have to worry about it, only because I had a level 3 safety holster. It's very hard to remove your gun, especially when your back's on the ground. Almost damn near impossible for him to remove your gun. So I didn't have so much of a concern for that. But if you have, you pick the side that you want. So if you're lefty, secure that wrist and start attacking the Kimura on that side, a double wrist lock. If it's on your right hip, I can do the same thing on the opposite side. and I can secure it here. But it's the same thing. I locked it up. Again, I'm controlling her. If I don't control this here, she may jump over and roll over. I don't want that. Go. Go back to my guard. So I keep my foot either controlled here or down on the bend of her foot here. And then I start cutting the pie here. My hips, my head. My hips, start going belly down, start going. You have to tell them what to do. They're not gonna know. Go belly down, belly down, belly down, belly down. Now watch, I'm making a transition here. I'm gonna release this hand as my thigh steps behind. And now we start working on the second arm. Start bringing that second hand behind your back. Good job, ma'am. Click, click, right into your handcuffing from there. Now, there's a lot of variations to this move, and there's a lot of what ifs. We'd be sitting here all day if I were to cover all these what ifs. My students know them because I have them, but I don't have the time to put all this information on this one video. Do yourself a favor. Find a good jiu-jitsu school and sign up. If you're in law enforcement and you have life insurance, this is a life insurance. Okay, especially in these times where cops are being attacked all the time, you definitely need jiu-jitsu. You need to be good at your firearms, and you need to be good with your hands, okay? Because if your firearms and you're left with any other incapacitating tools like taser and all that, the only thing that's left is your hands. You gotta be able to defend yourself and follow these instructions, and you go pretty far on this. Awesome.